Hi, let's talk about the best beauty products I've tried in the last year. These are my personal favorite products of 2023. Some of them were released this year. Some of them are not new to anyone but me because they didn't enter my collection until this year. Either way, I've narrowed it down to products that I reach for the most in 2023, products that were most consistently featured in my routine. So there's no fluff here. It is the best of the best, in my opinion. It's worth noting that a lot of products entered my collection this year. I tried a lot of new stuff. I'm testing and will continue to be testing out lots of products for the time being. And there are plenty of products that I liked this year that I tried, but I didn't use them enough to be able to honestly call them a favorite and feature them in this video. More testing is necessary. There are some products I'm still getting to know, so I would have liked to feature them here, but I can't because I didn't use them enough prior to filming this. Even though as of right now it wouldn't be fair to mention those products as a favorite, I'll be featuring them in upcoming videos, so subscribe if you want to see those in action and hear what I think about them. Some of the products we're going to be talking about in this video are on my face right now. Any other videos where I have featured anything I talk about here will be tagged up here wherever it is as we go. Everything on my face and mentioned will be linked in the description box. Any link with a little asterisk next to it is a commission link. That means I make a little itty bitty little tiny commission off of your purchase if you do shop through that link. It's not mandatory to use. It's literally just there if you want it. But you have to be comfortable with that. We've got mostly makeup. It's like 95% makeup, but also some skincare items, a fragrance, and a makeup tool worth mentioning. So let's get right into it. Let's start with the first favorite I think I discovered this year. I started off on a strong note by testing out my current favorite foundation I think I've ever tried, which is the Makeup by Mario foundation. What's the full name of this? The Surreal Skin Foundation. Yes, I have it in the shade 1C. I love this. It is so flexible and adaptable in a way that I just really genuinely appreciate, being a chaos goblin who loves to experiment the way that I am. I feel like Mario puts a lot of care into his brand. I've loved most, if not everything I've tried from his brand thus far. And it's one of the brands that's like keeping me excited about makeup, so I'm happy I get to feature actually two of his products here, because also this blush veil, it's in the same kind of component, similar formula to the Skin Enhancer, which was one of my favorites last year, is still a favorite. This has that same very interesting, balmy, almost gel-like texture that is so dewy and glorious on the skin. I like it on its own. It's really nice to layer with other things though, although rather than use it like a base like I would with most cream blushes, since this isn't the typical cream, I actually really like to use this as a blush topper, like in place of a highlighter. It works really beautifully for that. Very glad to get to feature a couple of his products. I feel like overall his brand's been really consistent, which is always good to see. I think there's only been a few misses, and thankfully I haven't touched any of those. My other foundation pick, I would say, is an obvious one, because I basically am about to... Both of my foundation picks were very popular this year. However, we know I'm a little unhinged, so I am going to tell you about the Haus Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation, but specifically the white one. I don't have this foundation in my actual shade. I refrained from picking it up in my actual shade because I'd heard a lot of people comparing these two, and I thought, well, I already have this and I already love this, so why would I do that? However, when spooky season rolled around and I realized I was without a trusty white face base of some sort to do my cosplay shenanigans, I decided to pick this up. Are there other more affordable white foundations on the market I could have gone with instead? Absolutely. However, I'm not going to sit here and try to convince you you need a white foundation for the impractical purpose of character makeup. I am going to tell you I have loved having this product at my disposal because of the versatility of it. The way I've been using it recently, it's on my face as well today, believe it or not. It's a great mix-in medium if you're like me and you find whenever you pick up a new base product that claims to be the lightest shade in the range and it's still just a bit too deep or a bit too warm, just not the right undertone, not light enough. Having something like this to mix into that product to help kind of neutralize the tone, lighten it up a little bit is very, very, very useful. I feel like I've heard that this foundation line is a little higher coverage, but again, I'm speaking specifically to the white one, and that has not been my experience with this shade. It's really pretty sheer, and very, very, very lightweight. I mentioned the first time I tried it for the first time on camera for you guys, actually. It's so fluid and serum-like. It feels like nothing on the skin. It almost just feels like you're applying a moisturizer. It's incredible. I have been using it basically to highlight the high points of my face when I'm underpainting. I've been underpainting lately, so I do my contour, my bronzer, and then I hit the high planes of my face with this. It just melts right in. It doesn't look like stark white on the skin. It just really nicely brightens everything up. And then I go in with my regular foundation over top of everything, and I'm good to go. Got a perfectly balanced kind of palette going on. So I love this for a variety of reasons. Some practical, some not. But, you know, if you've been looking for like a white foundation to try, I would recommend this one. It is a little pricey, but I think it's absolutely worth it. The quality is definitely there, and it's just so versatile. Love it so much. It's gorgeous on the skin as well. In the case of both these foundations, I would say they are a glowier finish, but not too much. They're not like uber dewy. They're very, very skin-like, just like healthy, hydrated skin. Love it. Speaking of healthy and hydrated, let's just get the skincare out of the way. First and foremost, the only thing I've tried from Merit thus far is the Great Skin Instant Glow Serum. Honestly, a lot of their makeup, the only makeup products from Merit that really intrigue me are the lip products, and I have no need for new lipsticks or lip oils at this time. That's another product I collected en masse this year. But this serum, I got it on a whim. I'd heard a couple people say great things about it by the time I was looking at it. And I was just like, you know what, just like, let's just give it a shot. It's hyaluronic acid and niacinamide, and I already know those are two things my skin loves. And there are a couple of serums I've tried over the years that have both in them that I've liked. So I was like, there's no reason I won't like this. I was not expecting to love it as much as I do. It's got a really interesting consistency. It feels more like a face oil than a typical serum. Like if you're expecting a kind of one of those tacky gel-like serums, this is not that. This is like more like a very lightweight face oil. It's like glass skin in a bottle. It's so ridiculously hydrating, but it sets in really nice. It doesn't leave like a slick layer on your skin. And it layers well with all my other skincare items, so that's cool. It comes in like, it's basically like a bi-phase situation, so you have to shake it up. I will say the pump is a little finicky. I often have to pump it a few times to get the product out. It might have just gotten jostled in transit on the way over here, but either way, the product inside is great. This is lovely. Another lovely one, the polyglutamic acid dewy sunscreen SPF 30 from the Inky List. This potentially best skincare find of the year, and I do not say that lightly. I am obsessed with sunscreens, hydrating sunscreens, moisturizer slash sunscreen slash primer situations in general. If there's a new one on the market, I want to try it. And this one did not disappoint. It took me a while to get a feel for it. I think at first I was kind of like, okay, but it it is worth getting to know. This is actually my second tube of it. I ran through the first one and had to get another one because I was like, I can't not have that now. I can't not have that on hand now. It's so great. So the thing about this is it is hydrating. It does kind of go on like a moisturizer would. It has that finish on the skin. It says dewy. I again wouldn't say this is overly dewy. I would actually liken this more to that like glowy matte cloud skin kind of vibe that a lot of people are going for. That's become so trendy now. Because it doesn't make your skin like super hyper shiny, but it does feel nice and hydrating. But this is really interesting because this essentially doubles for me as a super grippy makeup primer. Like think about how tacky and sticky the Milk Hydro Grip or the e.l.f. Power Grip, there we go, it's only my favorite primer. Think about how sticky those are. This is right up there. This is right alongside them in that regard. Super, super sticky, which probably sounds like a nightmare if you're just looking for a sunscreen, but like the makeup girlies, we get it. So I will just use this as my moisturizer, sunscreen, primer in one go. This is a one and done dream of a skincare product. It is literally perfectly formulated with the makeup girlies in mind. And bonus, because I don't know if anyone else has tried this yet, but I want you to know, you see how thick and bushy and crazy my natural eyebrows are? You can use this as a brow gel. I'm being so serious. I do this all the time, pretty much anytime I'm using this. It's the only sunscreen that I feel comfortable running directly over my eyebrows, and I will work it in backwards and forwards and like through the hairs like I would with a brow gel. Let it set for a minute and get tacky, let it get nice and sticky, and then just run through with my spoolie brush and set my brows in place, and I know I can go about my day. I can get to the end of like an 8-hour day and my brows will not have moved because this won't let them budge. It is that sticky, and then it just holds really well on the skin because it has that stickiness. It just stays put. It doesn't slip and slide around the face. It doesn't run down into your eyes and make you cry if you're like me and you have sensitive eyes and sunscreens do that to you. This does not do that. This holds its form beautifully. And I love it. I cannot say enough good. I could ramble on and on and on just about this sunscreen. Could not recommend enough. Highly affordable, available at Sephora. Check it out. If you try nothing else that I mentioned in this video, grab that sunscreen. Let that be the thing. Quick shout out. I'm not gonna go too into this because I feel like it's really pretty simplistic, but the Tower 28 SOS Daily Barrier Recovery Cream. I haven't tried the spray. I haven't tried the serum, but I want to based on my experience with this cream. I use this basically as a night cream. It's my nighttime moisturizer. Sometimes I use it during the day if my skin is in need of a little TLC. It's just a nice, very soothing, very comforting balm on the skin. Balm's probably not. It feels more like a balm than a cream to me, personally. It has a really interesting texture. It's like thick but airy, if that makes it. It's very light on the skin while still being so deeply hydrating and nice, like a cooling blanket on the skin. Really great for sensitized skin. And yeah, I just really dig it. Again, this is my second tube of it, actually. I ran through the first tube and had to get another one because I was like, I really like that cream. I wanna get it again. Also from Tower 28. This surprises no one, but the mascara is great. I actually got my mom to buy this recently. I was like, Mom, you should try this. It's the best mascara. It is the best mascara I've ever used. It is consistent. I've tried a few mascaras this year. I tried this one at the beginning of the year, and I've tried a number of mascaras since, and none of them have beat this guy. This has replaced past favorite mascaras for me. Nothing's touching it. This is the best mascara. And that's all I'm gonna say, because I know if you watch other beauty YouTubers, you know, you have heard all the things. This is beautiful. 100 1000% worth the hype. Let me move things I've already talked about away from me so that I don't confuse myself. How about that? You guys go over here for now. Let's talk about a brand generally that really impressed me this year. I tried a lot of stuff from VIEVE, which is Jamie Genevieve's brand, but I just want to touch on some of the like key products for me, the products that I could not stop reaching for, that just blew me away, that I tried from them this year. Starting with the most used by far, the cream bronzer. I got it in the lightest shade. I picked it up because somebody, I forget who, I know when I tried this for the first time again on camera, I talked about it. I mentioned who it was who said this, but someone compared this to the Makeup by Mario Skin Enhancer, and I was like, I'm gonna have to see for myself, because the Skin Enhancer had been my favorite bronzer for a year at that point. I've actually hit pan on it. Hang on a second, that took me a minute to find, but look! This happened a month or so ago, a couple months ago. Decent little pan in there. And once I run through this completely, I'm not gonna feel quite a need to rush and get it again, because I will have this, because this is indeed as beautiful as the Skin Enhancer. In fact, I don't say this, again, lots of testing went into this. I think I like this more because it doesn't have that added pearlescence that the Skin Enhancer does. It has a kind of luminosity to it because it has these like super micro fine shimmers in there, like barely detectable, right? But like it's formulated with the, not just to be a bronzer, but almost to be kind of like a finishing balm on the skin. So there's a highlighting aspect to it. This is just cream pigment. It has a luminosity all its own, without having that added pearlescence in it. I keep wanting to say sparkle. It's not necessarily a sparkle, but I think you know what I mean. This just gives me perfect, creamy, sun-kissed skin. It's super, super user-friendly. It's pretty pigmented. Sometimes I go a little overboard with it. That's when a white foundation comes in handy. But it's so user-friendly and so ultra blendable that I often find any mistakes that happen can be corrected with minimal effort on my part. It's so beautiful. It's so blendable. It is my most used bronzer, period, of this year. I basically went back and forth between these two a lot because I was putting this to the test up against this, and I think this wins. I think Jamie won this round. I also just kind of like the undertone of this one more on my skin than the Makeup by Mario one. The Makeup by Mario one, the lightest shade that I have, has like a rosier undertone, and sometimes that works and sometimes it really, really, really doesn't. This is just kind of a nice, perfect bronzing tone on me. So that just worked out beautifully. Super stoked about that. I also want to give a shout out to their powder, blush, and highlight formula. Actually, I don't know. So the first blush I picked up from them was this beautiful pink. This is the shade Cherub. Definitely not too pink. It's nice and punchy without being too vibrant and too much. And I love a pink blush, but sometimes too much is too much. This is just really beautiful. This was the first product from VIEVE that, like, when it got announced, I was like, oh, I have to try that at some point, because I remember distinctly Jamie describing it as a powder formula that performs like a cream, and I just found that very intriguing, me being who I am, and I must concur. It does behave in exactly that way. It's so like luscious on the skin. I also more recently picked up this face palette from them, one of their holiday releases. Did that just blind you? And this is the Twilight, hang on. This is the Dimension face palette in the shade Range Twilight. This was a special holiday thing. I don't know if it's still available now. If it is, of course, it'll be linked down below. If not, I'll just link to their normal face palettes that they have. But it's 3 blushes and a highlight. I'm surprised by this highlight. I was worried it was going to be too deep for me. I used this today. This is another product that's on my face today. And I used these 2 blushes also on my eyes. The blushes are also in the transition area of my eyes, and the highlighter on my face today. And the highlight works. I was worried it was going to be too deep for me, but it's actually perfect. Again, just really gorgeous, satiny, creamy finish on the skin where the blushes are concerned. All of these shades are really beautiful. Love them. All the powders are really super smooth. And finally, I want to talk about the lip oils. This little one I have came in a set, that's why it's so little, but this is the normal size of them. Also a holiday release, the shade Cherry. So beautiful. This is a really gorgeous formula. Also, the little one is in the original shade. It's just like a sheer with golden sparkle kind of gloss. Cherry is this delicious, deep black cherry shade, just really gorgeous. I love this formula as much as I was expecting to. It is, here's my thing, it's called a glossy lip oil. It's a gloss. This is my thing with most lip oils on the market right now, if you'll let me ramble for a second. A lot of them aren't lip oils. They're glosses, and it's okay to call them a gloss. A glossy lip oil. Come on. It's because so many people have a prejudice against lip gloss because we all remember back in the day having super sticky lip gloss on that we hated, but we wore it anyway because our lip gloss was poppin' and our lip gloss was cool. And I think a lot of us were left scarred by that. But it's okay to acknowledge that glosses at large have improved over the years. It's one of the makeup products that is just better now. And so we can call them glosses. We don't have to call every nice lip gloss that comes out now a lip oil. Some of them are, honest to goodness, a nice hybrid of the two. But I would say most of the lip oil products, or like glossy lip oils that I tried recently, over the last year or so, have just been like nice, non-sticky lip glosses, and I think it's okay to just say that. And that's what I would call this. It does have a nice slip to it, but it's definitely not gonna slide around on you, migrate to other areas of your face. It has a nice hold, it stays in place well like a lip gloss should, and it does feel hydrating, so I will give it that. It's very comfortable to wear. Love, love, love. You guys know I'm a lip gloss and general hydrating lip product fiend. So let's stay on that train, actually. I tried, Glamlight is another brand that I tried a lot from. For now, let's talk about the products that really pleasantly surprised me and that I wasn't expecting to become favorites, and it's actually lip care products specifically from Glamlight. When they did their Ghost Face collection, there was a set with a lip scrub and mask. I've been using these consistently ever since I got them a couple months ago, and they're so nice. They're so genuinely nice, I'm not even kidding. Also from their Nightmare on Elm Street collection, an actual lip oil. Incredible. It's a lip oil that's actually a lip oil. It's lovely. It's super silky, it's super hydrating. I use it to prep my lips for makeup, actually. Normally I would use like a lip plumping gloss or something, but this, it's not plumping. It doesn't claim to be. That's not what I'm saying. This does the trick in terms of just giving me a smooth, supple pout to apply lip product to. So, been loving that. I will say it's not as tinted as you're probably expecting it to be. I know it's a nice red here, and if you look at like the swatch photos of it like on a model's lips, it looks super saturated and red. It's really not. It's super, super I have naturally very pigmented lips, so maybe I'm just not seeing much of a difference with it. It's very, very sheer, in my opinion. The lip mask actually has a more decent tint to it. You wear the lip mask in place of a lip gloss. You wear it as your lip color if you wanted to, because it really does have a nice tint to it. I'll keep this one short and sweet. This is the best lip oil launch that happened all year, but none of you are ready for that conversation. The thing is rattling. There's like a little plastic thing in the cap that rattles. This is from Kaja. It's the Juicy Glass Lip Oil, which is a cringe name, but very accurate. It gives you the perfect glass-like finish on the lips. It's super, super shiny, super, super hydrating, lip care, and a little tint of color all in one if you're looking for it. I have the shade Plum Paloma. It's beautiful. and I love it, and you should try it if you haven't already. Their glosses, the gloss shots are very good too. Those have been a favorite of mine for a while, so I was pretty confident I was gonna like this, and I actually like it more than I thought I would, so definitely worth checking out. Another thing real quick, mine is dirty. I literally used it today, don't come for me. The Real Techniques double-sided thingy, what's it called? Miracle 2-in-1 Powder Puff. I have the packaging. I keep it in the packaging to keep as many germs away as I can. It's like a little thing. It has a little, so you can hold it, and it's a sponge on one side, and then you flip it, and it's a powder puff on the other side, and it's so fucking great. This is actually my second one. I have another one put away because it's dirty. These both need to be cleaned. But I like that I have two on hand because I use it just every time. I've used it every time I've done my makeup since I picked it up in, like, I don't remember how long ago it was. I think it was at the beginning of summer or midsummer. Midsummer. I don't remember. I've had it for a while. I love this. Check it out if you haven't already. Let's talk about LYS. I have a few things from LYS to talk about, and this is actually a great opportunity to make a little housekeeping note. I am no longer a brand ambassador for LYS. I was for a bit through a third-party app called Brand Ambassador. I'm not anymore. It's not because of any shady nonsense with the brand. Still love them, still support them. I'm not going to stop talking about them or anything because I think they're great. I elected to do that for a reason. It was just getting to a point with, like, the app situation with the Brand Ambassador app that it just was like, they kept changing stuff up. It was getting weird. The vibe was off. It's just not the way I generally like to operate, the way that they were doing things. And again, that doesn't have anything to do with the brand as far as I know. So yeah, I just thought it was worth mentioning. That's been the case for a month or so now. I've actually stopped being an ambassador for them for a minute, but I realized I never, like, officially made an announcement about it because it also doesn't feel like something that needs to be announced. It's not like I had a really direct professional relationship with any member of the LYS team. I wasn't under any kind of contract or anything with them. It was very much a thing I was electing to do. I was choosing to do because I like the brand and I liked being able to test out their stuff for you guys. I thought that was cool. But now it's a thing I'm electing not to do. And that's just it. There's no drama to be had about it, anything like that. It just wasn't a good fit anymore, so that's done. It was just kind of like a thing I wanted to try. It was just something I was giving a shot, but I was only gonna keep being willing to do it if it worked, if it was worth it. And it got to a point where it didn't feel like it was anymore, so I stopped. That being said, I do have some things here that were gifted to me for the purposes of doing written reviews for them on their site and the Sephora site. And also some things from them that I bought for myself. So let's get into that. First and foremost, I want to give a special shout out to the Detox Mask. No, sorry. The Think Deep, it says Detox right here, but the name's down here. Think Deep Pore Minimizing Detox Mask with Pomegranate and Charcoal. I want to shout this out specifically because it's the only skincare item I've tried from LYS that is good. In my opinion. The other skincare items I tried from them, it's not that they're bad, it's not that they're not good, they just didn't work for me. This works for me. As a fan of clay masks, of charcoal masks, for my oily T-zone, my very textured inner portions of my face. This is beautiful. This works beautifully. Dig it a lot. Also, their setting spray, which I wasn't expecting to be particularly blown away by, which is funny of me because their complexion items are the things I recommend the most. My favorite LYS product is their concealer. It's the best concealer. This setting spray is great. This was gifted to me. These two were the items that were gifted to me. A couple of the items that were gifted to me throughout the year. They're genuinely so great. This setting spray, generally with setting sprays, I'm like, a spray is a spray. You know, like they're all fine unless one is egregiously bad, and then I will be sure to tell you that. But generally it's like, it's been a while since I had a favorite setting spray. This is my new favorite setting spray. They just do complexion right, man. I have been so happy with this. I was not expecting to fall in love with it like I have. It's been my setting spray every time I've done my makeup since it came into my collection. I've made a pretty decent dent in it. I dig it a lot. And also, a really exciting launch from them at the beginning of this year were their lip products. These products are great. The lip liner is so fucking pigmented. It just literally glides right on. It's super smooth. It's a great lip liner. It totally is. But beware, if you do get a deeper shade or one of the brighter colors, it's incredibly pigmented. So there's that. And also the lipstick, I got this shade, the lip liner shade I had is Devoted. Beautiful, deep espresso brown. And the lipstick I have is in the shade Sincere, and it's a gorgeous mauve shade, just the kind of shade I would typically go for. And it's such a creamy, beautiful formula. Again, just glides right on. Super easy. It's like a comfortable satin matte once it's dried all the way down. I've been leaning more and more toward matte lips recently, which is surprising to me above anybody else, but really anyone who knows me I think would be surprised to hear me say that, because for a long time I was like, give me lip gloss or give me death. But yeah, generally a comfort matte is like my comfort zone, if you will. And this is perfect. This is a really beautiful finish, really comfortable to wear, yet again, that's very important to me, especially where lipsticks are concerned. So yeah, really stoked with those. Another brand that I tried a couple things from this year that I want to highlight is Half Magic, which is Donnie Davy's brand. Donnie Davy was one of the main makeup artists for Euphoria. She came out with her own brand. Was it this year? Did they launch this year? Or was it later last year? I don't remember. But I've tried a few things from them and I'm super impressed so far. First of all, this blush, it's in like a compostable, I think. Yeah, compostable. It says so right there. Like cardboard component. If you look at the front, it's got the logo on it. I don't know if you'll be able to see it because of my lighting. Then you kind of pop it open. You would think that the cream blush in here would dry out in this packaging, but it doesn't. It's doing good. This is the Cheek Fluff Soft Blur Blush in the shade Pink Mushroom. I'm really stoked with the shade. I was concerned mildly when I picked it up that it might pull too peachy on me. You can't tell, but it is the base of my blush situation today. It's another thing that went on before I did my foundation application, actually. It is probably my favorite. Oh, this is tough. I'm gonna say, I can't say favorite blush, but I will say favorite cream blush that I used this year. I have a favorite cream blush formula of all time. It's from Makeup by Mario. It's the Blush Sticks, the Soft Pop Blush Stick. I have like 3 shades of it. It's a gorgeous, perfect formula. I reached for this more this year. This is really beautiful. It kind of reminds me of the blush formula from Rose Inc. It kind of feels like that same consistency when you first start to dip into it, but then it just kind of melts. You know, it turns into like this soft, smooth, almost clay-like kind of consistency, and then it just kind of glides on. It blends. You know how some cream blushes can get real patchy real fast, or like lift up product underneath if you're applying it over your foundation and stuff? This doesn't do that. It's a super smooth, super malleable, very blendable formula. I'm a big fan. I actually want to pick up like all the shades in this. I was so impressed with that blush formula. Also, their matte liquid shadows. What's the name of these? The Chrome Addiction Eye Paint and Liner. The matte one specifically, because the shimmer one I got burned the fuck out of my eyes, which we all know liquid shimmer shadows just do. What is up with that? But the matte formula is great. The matte formula didn't hurt me. If you've tried the About Face liquid shadows, which I also love, this isn't like that. It's a very different consistency. Those are very fluid and literally paint-like. These ones from Half Magic are more like a whipped moussey texture. Like if you think about like a NYX lip cream, like the soft matte lip creams or any kind of moussey matte lip product that you've tried. This has a similar consistency to that. It's like a lip mousse for your eyes. I bet you could put it on your lips too. You might not want to. I have the shade Lavy Winkle, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a perfect blend of like a lavender and a periwinkle. It's so delightful. And I love it. It's very user-friendly. You get plenty of time to work with it before it dries down. It's very buildable, very easy to blend. And super comfortable on the eye. I didn't even really notice it was on. I blended it like all over my eye. I used it as a liner a few times, really packed it on. And once it had dried down, I was wondering if I was going to feel like a layer of a dried liquid shadow on my, you know, sometimes even with a liquid liner that's meant for that purpose, you're gonna feel it on your eyes. This, not so much. It's very much like a soft hold once it's dried down. Very comfortable to wear. Really happy with that. Really happy to see good liquid shadows on the market now, because that's another product that did me dirty a couple times back in the day. And last thing from Half Magic, I'm sure you've heard a few people talk about this, the Magic Drip Glitter Lip Gloss in the shade Frosty Bitch. I have it on today. I topped off my lipstick with it a little bit. I feel like my camera doesn't pick up on super sparkly lip glosses well enough. This one and the Lisa Eldridge gloss, which is another one I tried this year that I liked. They're so sparkly and beautiful and like give you that wet glisten look in real life, and I feel like my camera just does not do them justice. I love the shade. It's like a kind of cool, I wouldn't say it's frosty by my standards because I'm quite pale. Oh, look at that. But I do appreciate them calling it that because it's definitely a frosted glitter gloss vibe that will work on most, if not every, skin tone. So if you are of a deeper complexion and you generally steer away from products that are branded as frosty because they look too ashy on you, you will not have that issue with this. I'm 99% sure you will dig it. Speaking of About Face, the Cherry Pick Lip Color Butter. On my Shop My store, my description for this just says that this is a miraculous product, and I mean it. It's so interesting because it's just kind of one of those like clicky, you like click the button on the bottom and the product comes up, and then it like, however much you click up, it can't go back down. So you have to be like, whatever you push out, you gotta use. Look at that color. This is the shade Kiwi Fuzz. It's so beautiful. It's like a cool cocoa brown with like a nice mauve-y undertone. Look at that finish. So it's very high shine finish. It's like, it looks like a lip lacquer, like a glossy lip lacquer. It wears like a lip balm. It wears like a lip balm without being super slip slidey and getting everywhere and being a genuine mess. Most hydrating, super creamy lip sticks, cream lip products tend to be, in my opinion. I have found the exception to the rule, and it is this. I was kind of expecting that I was gonna like it, and it's another one that actually blew my expectations out of the water. Yeah, it's super interesting. It's high pigment, high shine. You would think it would be an ooey gooey terrible mess and like migrate all over your face, but it doesn't. It holds its shape really beautifully, and it's, again, super comfortable. Feels just like a hydrating lip balm. I've worn it a few times. I've worn it with and without a lip liner. It does fine either way. I've just swiped it on with little regard for my lip line, and it hasn't moved around on me, and it's just kind of beautiful. And I've also worn it more sheared out, and I do prefer that look on me personally, but I was happy with it each time that I wore it. Let's talk about what is easily my favorite eyeshadow palette release of the year. One of my favorite palettes of the moment, Glaminatrix Sugar and Spice palette. Here's the color story for you. It's so funny because when this was first announced and pics and swatches were going up, I was initially like, I don't need that. And then I kept looking at it and I was like, actually, yes I do. And I'm so glad I picked it up. This was a palette I reached for a lot this year, and this is a formula I'm super happy with. At the beginning of the year, I mentioned in another video, I had picked up 2 singles from them, 2 of their shimmer shades, and had really, really enjoyed them and wanted to try more from them. So when this palette came to me, and I had all these scrumptious shimmers to choose from, and also a new matte formula to try, I was stoked, and then even more stoked when I fell in love with it. And now there are other singles from them I'm looking to add to my collection in the near future as well. But this palette in particular, I reached for a lot. I just feel like there's so much variety. There's such a range of looks you can do with this palette. There's a lot of directions you can go. It's on my eyes today, in combination with that blush palette, because I felt like I needed a warmer transition shade going on. But yeah. Gorgeous, gorgeous palette, gorgeous formula, super lovely team. Every interaction I've had with them has been super positive, and I dig it. I dig the vibes. Last couple things I have to talk about are from Fantasy Cosmetica, which is another indie brand that I tried for the first time this year. Another eyeshadow palette I really loved. This is a more recent add to my collection, but I feel like it's absolutely worth a mention because I just feel like this is such a beautifully curated little color story. I feel like it's a really good example of doing the most with the least amount of space possible. I love a well-curated 9-pan. I will always sing the praises of a beautifully curated 9-pan, and I feel like they just hit it out of the park with this. Again, I can see some people looking at this and thinking, no way, or like feeling kind of like, what the hell am I going to do with that? I look at this and I see so many options. And I've done a number of looks with it so far that I'm super happy with. And the formula is just beautiful. I'm particularly, the shimmers are gorgeous. I just had to say that. I'm particularly impressed with the deep mattes down here, especially the purple. Purples can be very hard to formulate, especially when you get into the deep, inky purples. I have said time and time again that I feel like when it comes to a deep, dark matte, no one's doing it like Blend Bunny. Fantasy Cosmetica is right up there now. I was so impressed with that. The packaging is awesome. I love the whole vibe of this brand, and I'm just so happy with my experience with them so far. The next product I have is the last one we're going to talk about. It's also from Fantasy Cosmetica, and it's actually a perfume. It's a fragrance. This is their Fighter fragrance. When I ordered this palette, I got 2 little samples of fragrances from them to try. One of the 2 was the Fighter scent. That's how I discovered I loved this scent, and I decided I needed to get a full size. So here it is. It is a gorgeous, dark chocolate. I'm a gourmand girl. If you're not into it, I'm sorry, but this is my whole thing. Gourmand perfumes all day, every day. It's like a rich, deep, dark chocolate with notes of roasted almond. There's marshmallow, orange blossom, like a kind of sexy, very grounded, beautifully balanced scent. It's great for layering. It's beautiful on its own, but I love to layer it with other gourmands in my collection. I love mixing this with like a super saturated vanilla, like the Eilish perfume, the original, the vanilla one that Billie Eilish did. That is like a syrupy, sweet vanilla, something like that with this and you're gonna walk around smelling like a hot chocolate. And who doesn't want that? You can layer this with any vanilla and I think you'd be stoked with the outcome. Again, beautiful on its own. I've also liked mixing it with something like, my favorite perfumery this year was Le Monde Gourmand. By the way, I have like 5 or 6, I think 6 of their perfumes now. I could sit here and go on and on. It's just a beautiful brand. I'll link their site down below. Definitely check them out as well. The chai perfume from them that was trending on TikTok was trending for good reason. It was sold out for such a long time. When I was finally able to get a hold of it, I was like, hell yes, I get it. Another one that's worth the hype. It probably doesn't smell as spicy as you're expecting it to, but it's kind of one of those ones that the longer you have it, the more you pick up on it kind of thing. It's a very vanilla forward, very warm perfume. And it also layers beautifully with this. I love layering this with like spicy scents or scents that have a similar like toasted almond or praline kind of scent note in them. It's gorgeous. Love, love, love. And that does it. That does it for this video. If you tried any of these products this year as well, let me know what you think of them down below, or if there were any that you tried this year that were favorites of yours that you think I should try if I haven't already. Let me know about that too. I hope you guys are having a great end of your year. It's mid-December as I'm filming this. I'm hoping to get it up a week from the day I'm filming this. I also wanted to say thank you for the response to my last long-form video, the Halloween video that went up. I was not expecting it to be that well received. I was genuinely very pleasantly surprised by that, so thank you. Not that numbers are what's important, but I wouldn't feel right about not acknowledging how cool that felt and how grateful I am for it. So thank you, everyone who was a part of that, who interacted with that video. It was super cool of you. I'm glad that you enjoyed. But also, if you are a person who subscribed because of that video, because you like cosplay content, I did mention in that video I want to do more cosplay stuff on this channel. But, you know, as of right now, this is still primarily a beauty channel, so hopefully you like that too. And just thank you so much for being here, of course. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to hang out with me. Thank you for watching. It's pretty rad of you. I hope you enjoyed watching today. If you haven't already subscribed or liked this video, maybe consider doing one or the other or both. Neither are mandatory, but both are highly appreciated. Whatever the case, you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'm gonna be back here for another video sometime soon. And I hope that you will see me here. I was gonna say I'll see you here, but I can't see you. So I hope that all year round, but especially right now, you are being good to others and kind to yourself. And I will see you back here for the next one, whenever that comes, whenever that goes up. Bye. Is that everything so far? See, I'm already confused. Because I'm stupid. God damn it. First of all, this blush. This is a cream blush, the Cheek Fluff Pink. Sorry, it's the Cheek Fluff blush, soft blur blush. I'm gonna see it. What the fuck? Let's talk about my favorite. I'm sinking in the frame. What is this vocal fry happening on my voice right now? And just thank you. My voice cracked so hard.